What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So let's get right down to business. So the NBA is finalizing a new media rights deal with ESPN, Amazon, as well as NBC. It's going to be official. Looks like by the end of the week they're going to finalize that deal. I'm sure they will announce it shortly after that. That means Inside the NBA on TNT is going to be coming to an end after next season because the NBA's media rights deal with ESPN and Turner Sports ends after the 2024-2025 season. They're re-upping with ESPN, but Amazon and NBC are throwing their name into the hat, and they are not going to renew with Turner Sports, which is of course TNT. So the NBA is going to be on ESPN, NBC, and Amazon starting after next season. I mean, Inside the NBA will end until next year. Look, Inside the NBA is a really good show. It's been a great show for a very long time. You know, Shaq, Chuck, Kenny, and Ernie, of course, are phenomenal. It's really funny. It's a great show. They've been together for a long time. The chemistry those four guys have is incredible. It's one of the greatest, pre-post game studio shows of all time in sports production history. It's one of those things. All good things must come to an end. You know, all those guys are getting older. You know, Ernie's pushing 70 years old. Chuck's in his 60s. Kenny's got to be pushing at least 60. You know, Shaq's obviously well into his 50s. You got to be at this point. So, I'm glad they're going out on a high note. You know, a lot of times things like that, if they go on for too long and you guys just get old and the show loses its touch, or something happens, there's a falling out, or kind of just subtly, just like that, just kind of goes away. But at least we're getting the advance. The notice a year in advance that the show's no longer. It's going to be no longer. At least they'll all go out on good terms with each other, and it's going out on a high note. It's still a very good show all these years later. But I am happy about the media rights deal. NBA's coverage on TNT has been horrible this year. Kevin Harlan's obviously an incredible play-by-play guy. He does football, he does basketball, he does everything. He's phenomenal. As energetic as it gets. The rest of the coverage is horrible. Inside the NBA show is obviously great. But, Reggie Miller's not a very good cover to me. Biased. Kind of annoying. Jamal Crawford, I don't see the purpose. He barely even talks. And then there are other crew that got the guy Brian Johnson, whatever his name is. He's okay. I don't mind him, but his color is Stan Van Gundy, who was just beyond horrible. So annoying. He knows the game well, but he's just so annoying. He needs to shut up. He's just horrible. He's just not meant to do broadcasting. Their coverage is just beyond horrible. I'm not too happy about ESPN still doing coverage. Obviously, Mike Breen is phenomenal. He's a phenomenal NBA announcer, has been for a long time. I like JJ Redick. He's a pretty solid color. He's a good analyst. One of those LeBron bandwagon guys. Obviously, he's got a podcast with him. He might take the Lakers head coach job. I don't think it's kind of a joke. But overall, as an analyst, he's a good analyst. But Doris Burke is so freaking annoying. She knows the game pretty well, but she's just so annoying. Her voice sounds like nails on a chalkboard. It's not Joel Embiid, Giannis, or LeBron. She has nothing positive to say about anybody. She's just so annoying. I'll take her as a sideline reporter. I can survive, but it's just the same four things over and over again. She's pretending like 6-year-olds are watching this game. No, we got grown men and young adults watching this. Like, let's be real, sister. Like, come on now. Like, what are we doing here? She's horrible, and I couldn't even tell you who's the second team team behind them at this point. I don't even know who it is. Can't be all that good. Like Dave Pasch is pretty good. Ryan Ruggles pretty good, but Hubie Brown needs to retire. He's obviously a Hall of Fame coach. He's been a broadcaster for a long time, had a great career, but he's pushing 90 at this point. He's got to be at least in his late 70s. He sounds like he's a foot in the grave, to be honest. It's like, look at how he sounds. He sounds like a dying old man. I'm sorry to say it, but he does. He needs to retire and just. ESPN's been going downhill for years at this point. I mean, they fired Jeff Van Gundy because he complained about the officiating issues in the NBA, which he was right about, by the way. Got rid of Mark Jackson. Wasn't my favorite, but better than a lot of other guys they got. And I don't understand why they broke up with their guys. Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, and Can't remember who else they had there. That was stupid. That being said, NBC will bring in their own people. Amazon will bring in their own people, which I think is needed. And by the way, if there's games on Amazon Prime, I don't care. If there's games on Peacock, which of course NBC owns, I don't care. I had my little rant about that last week about how I don't think it's that big of a deal. You have these games, even playoff games on streaming services. I don't think it's that big of a deal. When people that are complaining are these old heads and these stupid ass boomers who don't know how to use a freaking TV remote. I don't see the issue at all. So I'm happy with the mini rights deal. Obviously, inside the NBA coming to an end is a shame, but it's going out on a good note, and this is the best thing going forward. And you say, "Oh, look, Kevin Harlan, somebody will pick him up." Oh, let's be real. And I think Amazon NBC is going to sign him. I'd be shocked if they didn't. One of those two. Maybe ESPN, but if I'm Harlan, I'm like, how much if I even want to go to ESPN? Also, like, you already have Mike Breen's your top play-by-play guy. If you think, all right, I can either be the top play-by-play guy, NBC or Amazon, or be the backup play-by-play guy for ESPN. Also, NBC and Amazon are much better networks than ESPN to me overall. So that was announced earlier today. I'm sure that we finalized, but it still looks like from what I've heard by the end of the week, they'll probably do a press conference officially announce it probably after the playoffs. I just don't think he wants the headline right now to be the new media rights deal inside the NBA coming to an end, opposed to what's happening in the playoffs, what's happening in the NBA Finals, of course the conference finals started, which we're going to get into right now. Last night, the Boston Celtics were able to survive Game 1 against Indiana, winning 133-120 in overtime, 36 and 12 boards for Jason Tatum in the win. Pacers really threw that game away, so they're up by 3 with 10 seconds left. They got to call a timeout there. I don't understand why Ricardo didn't call a timeout. So kudos to him for admitting, this is on me. I should have called a timeout. But still, you gotta know it. Ricardo's been a coach for a very long time. He played in the league. He was in Dallas for all those years. Won a championship in 2011 with Dallas. He was in Indiana before Dallas. Now he's back in Indiana. Like, he's a very good coach. He's been around a while. He's got to know that. 10 seconds to go. Boston doesn't have a foul to give. The reason they were in right there is because Tatum fouled Halliburton intentionally because he knew they had a foul to give. Call a timeout, advance the ball, across half court, get the ball in, let them foul you, go hit 2 free throws. You're up 5 with 8 or 9 seconds left. You got a very good chance of winning that game. It's a seal Game 1 in Boston, which would have been huge. Instead, you turn over, and Nembhard has trouble getting it in. Hits off Siakam's hand. He drops the ball. Good defensive play by Jaylen Brown. Make sure he was tight on Siakam, calls him to drop the ball. And of course, Jaylen Brown goes and hits a contested 3 in the corner with 5 seconds left. I think it was 5.7 to tie it. But still, then Indiana has a timeout, and you have almost 6 seconds. All you need is a basket, and then you hold the ball. Halliburton puts up a contested 3, just jacks it up. It was not even close. Kudos Jaylen Brown, who played excellent defense on that shot by Halliburton, but you got to give him a better play than that. Siakam's got 24, 12, and 7 in the game. You got him. You have Halliburton out there, Miles, all these weapons out there, and you can't, draw up anything. Hell, have Halliburton go to the hole or try and draw a foul. If he draws a foul with a couple of seconds left, he hits 2 free throws. You go up by 2, and I feel pretty good about that. Just go and get a stop, or at least keep him off the 3-point line. Just terrible ending, and then Boston ends up taking control in overtime. Jason Tatum with a couple of big baskets in overtime from that game. But so that's what Indiana would have liked to have back. That being said, they played really well. I'm sure they got to be happy with the way they played overall. Even Jaylen Brown said after the game, he said, "To be honest, we got to be better, but I'll take the win." So if Indiana can find a way to grab Game 2 and split going back to Indiana, they will be in good shape. But otherwise, they're going to be looking back when, damn, it's one that got away for sure. But Boston takes Game 1. If you get 7 games of that, I am not against that, because that game was a phenomenal basketball game. I am not against getting 7 games of that. That would be fantastic. I'm going to continue my NBA offseason outlook series. Today, we are doing the short horn. Like I said, I'm starting from the bottom up. I'm starting Eastern Conference, working my way up, and then I'm going to go bottom of the West, working my way up there. So, Charlotte Hornets obviously had a rough year this year. We're the 3rd worst team in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, a very young team. They the president of basketball operations, Mitch Kupchak, stepped down during the season. And they brought in Jeff Pearson, the assistant GM for the Brooklyn Nets previously, to be their head basketball operations guy now. And they let go of Steve Clifford. Thank goodness. I don't know why he was even brought back in the first place. But he was there for a few years, and they let him go, and they brought him back for some reason. Then they got screwed because Kenny Atkinson backed out last minute, but still, because I warned Steve Clifford, they reassigned him to the front office. He's no longer the coach there. Brought in Charles Lee, assistant coach in the Bucks, which I did think was a good hire. He's been a top assistant in the NBA for a while. Been a top head coach candidate in the NBA for a while. He'll be their new head coach. The only key free agent they already have is Miles Bridges, who's a good player, but a horrible human being, doesn't deserve to be in the NBA, so hopefully no one picks him up. They're going to have the 6th pick in the draft. That's the pick they earned via the lottery. And they also have the 42nd pick. The non-taxpayer mid-level exception and the biannual exception, non-taxpayer mid-level is worth $12.8 million, and biannual is worth $4.6 million. They have 2 trade exceptions. They're not worth a lot of money. One's $1.9 million. The other is only $440,000. They do have a lot of money to spend though if they want to. They have over $60 million clear of the first tax apron. So if they want to, they can spend a lot of money. But to me, they have to keep building. They're in a bit of a tough spot because of LaMelo Ball, because his max contract is kicking in next season. So he's estimated to make about $35.2 million on the 5-year, $204 million extension that he recently signed that kicks in starting next season. Estimated wise, this is what he's going to make over the next 5 years: 35.2, 38 million, 40.8, 43.7, 46.5. So that's a lot of money. LaMelo Ball's a great player. He's a good scorer. He can shoot the 3-ball. Phenomenal passer. He's a really good point guard. So only 23 years old. He's only going to be 23 next year, which is crazy. But he's always hurt. Played, I think, just 23 games, something like that this year. He's always hurt. That being said, you took a kid like Brandon Miller this year, who's a really good player. You took him 2nd overall this year. He was a Rookie of the Year finalist. Great player. It looks like you hit on him. Mark Williams, when healthy, had a pretty good year this year. Grant Williams played well after coming over in the trade for PJ Washington at the trade deadline. You have Davis Bertans there as well. He may have an option. You do have him. He's got an early termination option if he wants. It's $16 million though. I don't know if $16 million on the market. He's 32 years old. All he really does is shoot threes, like every other white guy in the NBA nowadays, and pretty much always. That's Lyburn. He's a solid 3-point shooter to have on your bench. I don't know if $16 million on the open market for that. Is there a market for that? Yes, there is. Of course, especially in today's NBA. But $16 million for a guy who's going to be 32, I don't know. Maybe he'll get that, but years-wise, is he getting more? Maybe he thinks he can get a 2 or 3-year deal, and maybe get 12 to 14 million. But I don't think anyone's gonna give him a 4-year contract for $16 million a year. I can't see a universe where that's possible. So Hornets are kind of start from scratch. They've been horrible for a long time. They weren't very good even when they had Kemba Walker, and his prime was a great player. So they're kind of basically starting over. But they may have people. Jeff Pearson not sold him. He came from the Nets, and then being Sean Marks' assistant doesn't exactly scream anything great. He's you gotta give him a chance. So we will see what happens. I do like Charles Lee. You have a couple of good young players, Brandon Miller or LaMelo if he's healthy. You have a couple of rotation pieces like Grant Williams and Davis Bertans comes back. Also, there isn't a whole lot else. If Mark Williams is healthy, I like him. I think he could be a solid big, good inside scorer, good rebounder, can block shots. To me, they really got to get a really nice, really good wing in there. I think they had the 6th pick. This draft is so bad. You think the top 4 prospects to me, in whatever order you want to put them in, are Donovan Clingan. I think I talked about this yesterday. Donovan Clingan, the big man from UConn. You got Rob Dillingham from Duke. You got Alex Starr, who's the big forward from France, and then you got that guy Zachary Rasachier, whatever his name is. He's another overseas kid. He's a another taller power forward. Who can shoot the ball. Other than that, there's a kid Newton, the guard from UConn. who looks pretty good. Needs 3-point shot, needs a lot of work, but he can defend. He's a good passer, good athlete. You got Nikola Topic from Serbia. He's another point guard that's got some potential. Other than that, there is not a whole lot in this draft. Zach Edey, the big from Purdue. I don't see a whole lot in him. He'll be a late first rounder, early second rounder probably. I don't know how long he'll last in the league. Those news came out today that DJ Burns has lost 45 pounds. The big from NC State who had that crazy March Madness run. So maybe that'll help his stock. I don't see him being anything than a second round pick, if that. I'm not even sure if he'll get drafted. So this draft is very, very poor. One of the worst drafts we've had in quite a few years, to be honest. Had some strong drafts in recent years. This is not one of them. I'm not sure what they did, but they really need a wing. But keep building to the draft would be my suggestion to the Charlotte Hornets. And now I want to talk about the New York Mets. Holy God, this team is bad. This team is horrible. Absolutely terrible. Specifically their offense. Look at how bad this team is offensively. Francisco Lindor is hitting 198. Also, they're playing right now as we speak, and you guys will see him. It's 5 o'clock Eastern time. Well, it's about 1:30 Eastern time when I'm watching this. Mets are, I think, up 2-0 or 2-1. The second day, I don't even watch them anymore. They're freaking unwatchable, especially with the Raiders in the playoffs. Knicks were in the playoffs until recently. Francisco Lindor is making $30+ million a year, almost $300+ million contract. He's hitting 198. He has been horrible. Horrible. Like, he starts off slow every year. Obviously, he started off really slow. His first year was horrible. Even 2 years ago in 2022, when he had a great year, he had 32 and 107 or something, 32 and 105. He had a phenomenal year. Started off, he was hitting like 235, in like June. And then, second half, he was a beast. He ended up having a great year. Last year, he was, at this point last year, he was not playing well and he was struggling. I think at one point, like late May, early June, he was hitting like 205, like a 680 OPS. I remember tweeting about it actually. It was concerning, but then he picked it up, and the rest of the year he was great. He ended up 32, 33 bombs, 90+ RBIs. Was almost won a Gold Glove. He was named to first team like all MLB team that like the fan team that do every year. But he's been beyond horrible. Like, he better pick up. He has just been terrible. He's just been embarrassing. Pete Alonso wants all his money. Like, I love Pete Alonso. I've been defending him since he entered the league for all his critics, but he's got to pick it up. 320, 235. He hit 11-point run of the season in the first inning. But through 188 at-bats, I guess, hitting 230 with 24 RBIs, that's just horrible. That's just not good enough. He came into today with a 766 OPS. That's terrible. That is just terrible. Brandon Nimmo supposed to be this great leadoff hitter. He's hitting 218. Yes, he hit 358 on base. Okay, cool. 764 OPS isn't bad, but 218, that's just not good enough. Marte hitting 261. He's got 311 on base. His slugging is 386 with a 697 OPS, just 18 RBIs. DJ Stewart, who played really well down the stretch last year, is hitting 205 with a 397 slugging. He's a 376 on base. Brett Beatty, I'm starting to think this guy's a lost cause. He's hitting 228, 136 at bat this year. He's got 611 OPS. Now with losing time to Mark Vientos. He's a I think I saw something coming today. He was a 214 hitter in his career. He's played about a full season. It's not looking great for him. Jeff McNeil supposed to be a bag champion. Wasn't great last year. And again, this year he's hitting 240 with a 643 OPS. I think he hit a home run, but still, he's hitting 240 with a 640 OPS with 13 RBIs. That is just absolutely terrible. The only guys that are hitting, I know you don't have Francisco Alvarez, who overall who's doing well. His numbers don't look great. 236, 62 OPS. But it was only 55 at bats. Overall, he was doing pretty well. The only guys that are hitting are Harrison Bader, who's not even known for his bat. He's hitting 279 at least, so he has 67 OPS. JD Martinez hitting 309, but he only has 81 at bats. The outfit just got here. And Tyrone Taylor, who's their backup outfielder, is hitting 250 this year. But again, 630 OPS, so what's it really matter? Like, I don't know how the team is this bad offensively. Alonso, in his worst season last year, still had 47 home runs and over 110 RBIs. Brandon has always been the guy that hits close to 300, gets on base a lot. Really good bat to ball hitter. Francisco Lindor supposed to be a star. Supposed to be got to give you 30 and 90. He plays Gold Glove company with a shortstop. Marte, when healthy, supposed to be a guy that hits 270, 280 with 20 home runs. You have all these guys. Jeff McNeil's supposed to be a guy that hits 300. Again, I know Alvarez is out. He's a big piece of their lineup, but still, this is just pathetic. This is just horrible. Absolutely horrible. Eric Chavez, who 2 years ago was their hitting coach, did a great job. Last year they moved him to the bench coach role. I think they might have. I think Mendoza might have kept him on his staff as the hitting coach. But God, this is bad. They got to do something at some point. It's not like their rotation is laying it up either. You think, all right, their pitching hasn't been great, but Luis Severino has overall pitched well. Shomania has overall pitched well for the Mets this year. Quintana has not been great. Hauser has been horrible. Now you threw Tyler McGill back out there yesterday. This is just embarrassing. Christian Scott, his first start, he came up there. He pitched a Jamison Center. He hasn't done a whole lot. Now their bullpen overall has been good, but Diaz is all of a sudden struggling again. He's temporarily lost the closer role, but Reed Garrett's been great. Adam Ottavino's pitched pretty well. Deepin's been pretty good besides his last outing. Jorge Lopez has pitched well. Even Sean Reed Foley's has looked good. But holy God, this team is terrible. That's why I had that rant at the very beginning of the season. I was like, this is the team that started with a playoff team. And to his credit, he actually hasn't done that bad of a job. Through his first offseason. Severino has pitched well. Manaea has pitched well. He brought back Ottavino, has been solid. He brought in Deepin, who's been pretty good overall. But Jorge Lopez has been very good. So overall, he's actually done a pretty good job. You look away offensively. Harrison Bader has, for what he's supposed to be there for, has done a good job. Nothing else. He's hitting 270. He's been good defensively. His defense alone was probably worth $10 million. He's there to play Gold Glove cover defense in center field. He's not really there for his bat. He's done what he's done what supposed to do. He brought Jay Martinez in really late, got him for a steal. He's looked very good. He's looked very good so far. The only ones that really didn't work out were Adrian Hauser, making the trade for Adrian Hauser. He didn't really give up a lot in that trade. He's been absolutely atrocious, but he's going to lose his spot. But you also got Tyrone Taylor, who has been a pretty solid fourth outfielder, so it's a total loss, but he also didn't give a whole lot. And then he brought in Joey Wendell for $3 million to be, a utility infielder. He was absolutely atrocious. You just DFA'd him, and then they just let him go. So, but overall, he actually did a pretty good job. And I don't hate Carlos Mendoza. I actually thought he could have done a pretty good job. The first couple of weeks, I thought, I don't know about this guy. Didn't love some of his decision making, but I think he's gotten a lot better as the years gone on. He sticks up for his players. He doesn't have a great team to work with. They were put in a tough spot by Billy Epler last year, what he did last year. So, it's kind of a tough spot. Overall, I like him so far. He's been hitting Lindor leadoff. He's not even hitting 200. I think he's just trying to force feed Lindor about. I think he knows, all right, the guy's been susceptible to slow starts. He comes on eventually. Let's get him as many at-bats as possible. You got to remember also, Brandon Nimmo is hitting 223. He's supposed to be a leadoff. I guess he's a 360 on base right now, but the guy's hitting 220. You can't have a 220 hitter as your leadoff hitter. Yeah, he's been hitting leadoff for the Mets predominantly for several years, but end of the day, his job is to win baseball games and to put the best team on the field. And if Brandon Nimmo doesn't give the best chance to win hitting leadoff right now, he's got to be lowered in the lineup. So he has him a 3-hole. Nimmo is not a prototypical three hitter. I'd probably flop him and Alonso. He's had Alonso hitting second. But, he's trying to make adjustments. He's trying, moving Lindor into the leadoff hole, putting Nimmo in the 3-hole, putting Matua, putting Alonso there. Martinez was always going to probably be the cleanup hitter. He's a cleanup hitter. He's been for a very long time. He just needed to get his feet wet, and he did. He's hitting cleanup. No issues with that whatsoever. I like that he's playing Mark Vientos every day, pretty much. He deserves it. He's hitting 360 right now. He was hitting 360 in his first 25 bats coming into today. So, he's one of his best hitters, Francisco Alvarez, who was probably their best hitter to this point before he got hurt. Only one of their best hitters this year is hurt. He's out with a broken thumb. So, there's not much he can really do. He's doing the best he can, but just want to say this team is just so bad. The fact that David Stearns and Cohen and all these guys think this is gonna be a playoff team. You also, Cohen made that tweet. I forgot if he said he deleted it. Then he said like, I expect to make the playoffs, but I just don't get it. They've lost every series but one since Alvarez went down. Also, he lost 2 for the Philadelphia, who obviously is rolling right now. You've lost the first 2 in the series to Cleveland, who's playing pretty well right now. You have the rubber game today going on right now. It's probably gonna be over by the time you guys see this, or seeing this rather. And you also have to Miami, who's atrocious. You got shut 8-0 in the first game. Second game, you blow a 4-1 lead in the 9th inning. You're up 7-2 in the 8th, 9-5 in the 9th, and you lose. You're able to steal the last game, but at that point, who cares? This team is horrible, and they should be embarrassed. But to finish off, I want to talk about Monday Night Raw from this Monday. 2 days ago, we had of course, the King and the Queen of the Ring is coming up this Saturday. I believe it's at 1 p.m. Eastern time because I think it's in, get where it is, Saudi Arabia or wherever it's going to be. Semifinals in the Queen of the Ring. Lyra Valkyria defeat Io Sky. It was a very good match. She looks very good, Lyra. Lyra Valkyria. Bruce came from NXT. I like what I see out of her. And then Gunther defeated Jey Uso with that triangle chokehold. I gotta say, Gunther, his bag is really deep when it comes to his wrestling moves. He has stuff. He's got the powerbomb, his chops, his submission move with the double-legged Boston Crab. He pulled out the triangle choke. He's got a really deep bag. He might be the best pure wrestler they have, especially with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins currently injured. That dude's incredible. He will face the winner of Randy Orton and Tama Tonga, which is happening on Friday Night SmackDown. Things that happened, Chad Gable defeated Sami Zayn. Of course, Chad Gable had this thing where he's been being very critical of his Alpha Academy members. Maxine Dupree, Kira Tozawa, and Otis. Otis called Sami Zayn the match. And, backstage he was like, Sami was getting angry at him, and then Otis said, "I'm sorry," and Sami was like, "I know you're a good guy." He's like, they trust me. I've been in your shoes. Please, get rid of him. So when Otis breaks free from Chad Gable, that's going to be an incredible moment. But to the people saying, "Oh, Chad Gable's really annoying me," that's his job. He is a heel. So many wrestling fans are so stupid. Like us wrestling fans, we complain a lot. We're critiquing. It's how we are. But at some point, you got to give it a rest. Saying Chad Gable has been getting really annoying. No kidding. He's supposed to be annoying. He's a freaking heel. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Come on. Let's be better than that. Then you had Braun Baker defeat Kale Dixon. I don't know who that is. He's basically, I think, from what Michael Cole said, he's in like the level below NXT. It was basically a double A guy against the next Brock Lesnar in the ring, of course. Beat him by stoppage, then beat him up after the match. And then, backstage, you had Ilya Dragunov doing his interview, and then Ricochet said, this isn't over, And then Braun Baker, speared Ricochet, through the table, and then Adam Pearce. You had a busy night, for sure. There was some other stage attack to happen. They were trying to get cameras out of there, obviously. And then you had the World Tag Team Championship. Awesome Truth defeated JJ McDonough and Finn Balor, of course. Korea helped them the week prior, helping them qualify for the match, and he came out, didn't really work. And Awesome Truth took advantage. Of course, Braun Strowman came out. That's who Andre Giant was, because he is so funny. I love it. I love Archer just cracking all these jokes, and Miz being like, "Truth, no, you're wrong," and then Archer just storming off, and Miz being like, "Oh my god!" And then they go out and they just pull the match out of their ass. This crap is really funny. I've enjoyed their reign very much. So Braun Strowman helps them win, and then they got backstage, and David Priest was not happy. He said, I don't know who we are anymore. He said, Jay McDonough, he said, go to Pierce right now and get a one-on-one match with Braun Strowman. He stormed out of there. He obviously, before the tag team, he said something to Carlito. He's not sold on the whole thing of Carlito helping them right now. Obviously, Dom's trying to bring him into the Judgment Day, but I like what's going on with the Judgment Day. I think they're going to end the SummerSlam fight. The guess Priest is probably going to lose his title to McIntyre at Clash of the Castle. 2 years ago, Clash of the Castle, of course, McIntyre got as close as anyone's ever got to beating Roman Reigns before Cody did it at WrestleMania this year. It's in Scotland where he's from, and I think it'll set up him against CM Punk at SummerSlam. And I think at SummerSlam is when Judgment Day will come to an end. That's my prediction. Yeah, Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan exchange words. I hope Becky puts her on the ground at SummerSlam. I mean, I King Queen in the ring. I cannot stand her. She's not that good on the mic. She's average in the ring. They need to stop pushing her. Please stop pushing Liv Morgan. I don't see the freaking appeal at all. And yeah, I WWE Women's Tag Team Championship number contenders match. It was won by Shannon Baszler and Zoe Stark. They defeated Ivan Maxim to break Katana Chance, King Kong, as well as Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane from Damage Control. Of course, Asuka is out with an injury right now. She's been out for a while from the injuries, but I honestly been bothering her for a while. Even I think even a few weeks before WrestleMania, there was rumors that I was bothering her. I think she's been trying to get through it. She also wanted to get through WrestleMania, so she could have the match with Bianca and Jade. But she wanted that that time in WrestleMania, and they wanted to drop her titles at Backlash, but she's taking some off because of the injury, so that's why Dakota Kai. By the way, I like Dakota Kai a lot. She's really good on the mic. Her in-ring abilities, she's very talented in the ring. I think she's going to be really, really good. Then you had a little bit Conrad at a backstage interview. He called him like a keyboard warrior, which was pretty funny. And of course, Drew McIntyre at his backstage interview, he did his little shtick. But that was One Night Raw. That's all I have for you guys today. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.